Please review the disclosures. Nothing written, expressed, or said here should be looked at as investment advice or an admonition to buy, sell, or trade any security or financial instrument. The Lund Loop is for informational purposes only. Hey everybody, welcome to the daily update for Monday, October 20th, 2025. Happy Monday. Real quick before we get into the daily update, some housekeeping. I'm going out to Vegas on Thursday. I will be there for Joe Fahmy's 51st birthday party. So the daily update on Thursday and Friday will be a little bit delayed. Probably be late afternoon, early evening, because I'm going to be doing some hiking out in Mount Charleston and, semi off the grid. So anyway, hey, if you're not in Discord, get in there. If you're a paid subscriber, it comes with your subscription. If you're not a paid subscriber, seriously, like, what's the deal? Become one, and then you'll get into the Discord. Plus, you'll get all the other great stuff that the Lund Loop has. On Friday, I put out a daily update entitled, Did the VIX Just Give Us the All Clear Signal? Why did I do that? Well, here's what I showed subscribers. This massive, basically, it's not a bearish engulfing because it didn't engulf the full candle here, but this big crush in volatility that we saw on Friday. If you remember, we had this big spike on Friday the 10th when we had that big down day. And I said, traditionally, I had an arrow here, like when we have these spikes, these have been good buying opportunities. Am I buying here? No, but it's something to keep in mind. Now, here's what happened. The next 3 days, we consolidated up in the top third of this bar. That's not what you want to see after a big spike like this. You want to see something like this, a big crush in volatility. You want to see something like this. You want to see something like this. We did not see that. So that was a little worrisome. And then we had this massive spike on Thursday. I actually had to look at my charts 3 or 4 times on Thursday to say, did the VIX really get that high? Well, then we just crushed it on Friday and came all the way back in below this level, which had been kind of the limiter up until that point, up until this breakout. And so I said, hey, that kind of gives us a little bit of a clear runway here. And if you look at, I drew this downtrend right here, and I said, if gun to my head, I'm guessing that the next move would be up. Now, I didn't think it would be up this big, but it was a nice move across the board today. We had the Russell up almost 2%, ES, NQ, YM, Dow, NASDAQ, SPX up about 1%. So it's a good start. We had some great names that made nice moves today. Remember, I also talked about de-risking, about how I was taking some of my winnings and my commons and putting into options so that I could still participate in the upside, but limited my risk a little bit because, to be honest, until we, and look, let's just talk frank about where we're at now. Even after today's move, I still have